My name is Chef Tom. I've been cooking for 25 years, 6 years in Europe. I've also cooked in Asia, Mexico, and I'm from the East Coast. There's no reason the home cook can't make delicious meals at home. I learned all kinds of culinary secrets. These are the real hardcore secrets that people want to know. Now I'll teach them to you.
Hi, I'm Chef Tom from Chef Tom Teach World, and today I'm going to teach you how to make lobster bisque. Now, lobster bisque is a very easy recipe, and there's kind of a lot of different ways to do it. I'm going to show you more of a velouté method. So to get started, I have my carrots, celery, garlic, onions, tomato paste, flour, and some lobster bodies. Last time I was on here, I showed you guys how to steam the lobster and reserve some of the heads, some of the parts of lobster bisque. So what I'm going to do now is show you how to take the head apart. When you take the head apart, it's kind of like, almost like a hood of a car. You kind of pop that guy off, put the hair for a second. Now, on the body here, what you want to do is cut it right down the middle and cut it in half again. And this is to give you a lot of flavor in your soup. So when starting this up, what you want to start going with is you want to start with your lobster bodies in here. Get that butter. And again, we have some of these legs that we didn't take apart last time, so they'll go in there. What we want to do is get that going. Get that nice and steamy. Now when you make this, there's a couple ways you can do this. Like I'm going to do the velouté method, so that means I'm going to have like a white stock and I'm going to add a roux, so thickener, but a lot of recipes use for just rice. Rice will kind of give the same consistency, but more modern is the velouté method using roux. As this begins to cook, I'm going to add my onions, my celery, and my carrots. I'm going to start this going. I'm going to cook this for about, I don't know, 5-10 minutes. What we're looking for is for the onions to be translucent, everything start cooking. Alright, so now you can see that the onions are kind of translucent. You know, you can kind of see through them a little bit, and everything is looking good. Everything's smelling fantastic. So what I want to do now is add my alcohol. Now when you add the alcohol, you want to watch out because it might flambe. And flambés, this probably won't flambe because there's a good amount of liquid in the bottom. But what you want to do is you make sure you cook your alcohol off. I'm using sherry for this because I like that, but feel free to use wine, anything else. Man, that smells good. So as it's cooking down, I got my tomato paste in. And I'm going to mix it in. So I'm going to add to this now is I'm going to add the flour to make the roux. So here's my all-purpose flour. I'll pour that in, and I'm going to mix that up. This is my thickener. This is kind of how it's velouté. We got the basis for our lobster stock right here. So I'm going to mix it in, get it all fully incorporated. You can already see it begin to tighten the whole thing up. All right. Now we have that. Now this here is some of our stock. This is what I use to steamed lobsters last time, so I'm going to put this in. No, you want to put it in kind of a little bit at a time, because what I want to do now is make sure I get the thickener incorporated evenly, because you'll see it'll kind of turn into, it might kind of look like really thick. See how it's thickening right now? Nice. All right, so that's one step. Add a little bit more. Again, you want to make sure this is stirred in nice and evenly. Get that, you can already see it thickening up. And when you cook this is not going to take too long to cook. Probably after we're done with this step, maybe another 30-45 minutes for it to get all the flavor out of the, we call it the bones, but the lobster shells. And I'm going to cover this up. A little more. Now, one of the things you got to watch out for on this, when you make a roux, a lot of times people say, "Oh, chef, it's not thick enough. It's not thick enough," and that's okay. But the true thickness of the stock will not come out until it comes to boil. So right now, like you saw earlier, it looked really thick. Now it's chef, looks kind of watery, and it kind of is watery. But again, it will not thicken or fully thicken until it comes to a boil. So we're gonna have to let that go. So we're gonna let it sit another 30-45 minutes, then we'll bring it back. Okay guys, so it's now come to a boil. So, you know, the roux won't thicken properly until it comes to a boil, so that's all set. So now what we want to do is drop this down to simmer for about 30-45 minutes, and then we'll strain it, we'll be good. Okay guys, so check that out. Nice, thick lobster bisque. So what we want to do now is we're going to strain this. Okay, and when you want to strain this, one of the things you want to do is you kind of want to push the stuff down through, because you still get your carrots, your celery, you get a lot of flavor that's still hiding out in there. Put this to the side. So we get all strained out. What I want to do is put it back into the pot. And what we do now is we'll start testing it, see where we're at for taste. That's pretty good. So I'm gonna give this a little puree, make sure everything's, we didn't miss anything. So when I do this, I'm using 2 spoons. 1 spoon goes in the soup. They don't touch. The other one goes in my mouth. So I've had some salt in there, a little pepper, I'm gonna give it a little again, and give it a taste using the same spoons. That's perfect. Now again, season it until you like it. Now I like a lot of salt. You may not know. Let's get the plate out. Alright guys, so the soup's done. I've got my bowl. I've got my garnish. So again, the last video when I showed you guys how to break these lobsters down, when I killed it from underside so I could have this beautiful intact head. So I want to do this guy here. So I kind of want to cut this. And this guy will go right there. And my lobster, I'm going to put a lot of lobster in here just because I like lobster, my lobster bisque. So I'm going to drop this down inside there, and I'm going to ladle my soup on top. All right, so I'm going to take this nice little claw that I had before, drop that down on top there, little my green onions, and that's your lobster bisque. All right, guys, so here's our lobster bisque. Nice, easy technique. A lot of people are surprised that you don't use mainly the prize parts to make it, but you see the prize parts for a garnish on this. Now, again, we talked about the velouté method for this, which is the white stock and your roux. If you want to use fish stock, you want to use a base, go ahead and do it. It's all good. Also, something I want you guys to think about when you're doing your lobster bisque, think a little bit outside the box. I used to use the same bisque as a sauce for my grilled Chilean sea bass and for pasta. So, you know, it can be used for a lot of different things. So that's it for now. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you again soon. Ciao.